We've got signs of flame and fire rolling up the front of this water heater.
We didn't expect this day to be as challenging as it was, but it definitely turned into one of the more challenging days we've had as a plumbing company. Trucks not being stocked with what they need to have on them, drain lines taking much longer to open up than what we thought.
That sucks. That sucks bad.
Stay tuned and see what it's like to be a plumber for a day.
It's pouring down rain today, and we haven't had rain in quite some time. Everything's getting real soggy and real mushy.
The mission on this first job is to get this water heater installed and to leave the customer's home in a better condition than we found it. However, the rain is making it almost impossible to do.
It's raining, man. On the way in, our dolly took a mudding excursion through a big old puddle. It's a little wet.
You know, we've got a new plumber on the team. We're trying to show him the ropes, and this is like not how we want his first job to go with us. We also were working out of a brand new truck in the fleet, and so we learned really quickly that the truck was missing some things.
This truck is also kind of newer setup, so we're learning that it's missing drop cloths and stair runners, so that made a big challenge in trying to make sure that we took care of the customer's house the best way we can.
So now that we got that water heater done and installed, we can head on over to our second job of the day, which is a tattoo studio with a clogged main sewer.
This is their main sewer clean out here. This gives us an access to get tools and augers and cameras into their sewer line to look at it or maybe clear a stoppage. We're gonna give that a shot and see if we can find out where the clog is exactly and what it's gonna take to get it freed up.
Unfortunately for us and the tattoo studio, this drain clog was much worse than both of us could have imagined. It was going to take some serious work to get it opened up.
The line was so plugged up that we're going to have to get our auger out. Our camera is not going to be able to kind of free up the soft clog that's in there, but we're augering the line backwards, and that can pose some dangers because our auger can go places where we don't want it to go.
And just when it looked like it couldn't get any worse, the skies opened back up again, and it did indeed get much worse.
Another band of rain moves through out of nowhere and just starts pouring on us. So we had to pick up what tools we could, get them in the truck so that they're dry. And now we have to wait this band of rain out before we can keep working it. Sometimes we just run into situations that are out of our control. It got wet.
With the rain dying down, we decided to give it one more try with our drain auger before throwing in the towel. No matter how hard we tried with a drain auger, we realized the auger was not the right tool for the job, and so we had to call in a sewer line jetting company.
That sucks. That sucks bad.
So while we're in a holding pattern waiting on this jetting company, the office actually called us with another call to go run. As luck would have it, it's another water heater call. We had already used the water heater on our truck, so now we had to go to the supply house and buy a new water heater to get it back on the truck, and then head to this additional call that we did not know we were gonna have.
And it's still raining.
When we arrived at this second water heater call of the day, we did not expect what we were about to find.
We've got a bunch of signs of flame and fire rolling up the front of this water heater. Down inside here is our combustion chamber. This is where all the fire happens inside this water heater. If they would have had anything stored fairly close to this heater, we wouldn't be here for a water heater issue. The fire department would be here for
a fire in the house.
The customers almost burned their house down by their water heater having flame and fire come out the front of it.
This gas control valve got so hot, it cracked the control knob. All these black pieces falling out, that is soot and ash from this thing not venting very well for quite some time.
We started to learn why fire was coming out of the front of the heater. To explain a little bit more about why this was happening, we need to learn about a process called thermal expansion.
What thermal expansion is, as water increases in temperature, it also increases in volume. It takes up more space. If we don't give that any place to go, then it turns into enormous pressure. And that pressure can damage your plumbing system, it can damage your fixtures, it can damage your water heater, and most commonly, it can make this valve on the side of the water heater start to open up and drip water on the floor.
The thermal expansion actually collapsed the flue tube inside the heater, so those flue gases couldn't come up through the center of the heater, and they were forced to come out of the front of the heater. And that is where all the fire was coming from. Now that we knew the cause of all of this, we can actually recommend the appropriate repairs to the customer and move on with the installation.
When you cut the metal flue pipes, you always end up with these sharp points. We call those meat hooks because they'll get into your fingers quick.
And right about the time we're wrapping up the installation of this second water heater of the day, we actually got word from the jetting company that they were successful in getting the drain line opened up. As it turns out, the sewer got clogged from toilet paper building up on the really old, rough cast iron drain lines. And so eventually they're going to need all new sewer lines, but until then, they just have to deal with using the cheapest toilet paper they can find so that it'll break up and go down the drain instead of turn into a big clog. So that about wraps up one of the more difficult days we've had in a while when it comes to being a service plumber. The rain definitely compounded things and made things a lot more difficult than they needed to be. But all in all, we've made 3 customers incredibly happy. And here at the end of this video, you're actually going to see an opportunity to watch that thermal expansion video in full length. There's a little thing you can click on here to watch that video in its entirety.